The town of Hollow Creek was always a strange place. It had an air of mystery that hung over it like a shroud. Nestled deep in a valley, the sun dipped below the mountains early. Daybreak came late, casting a perpetual twilight over the town. The shadows grew long, even in the afternoon, stretching like dark fingers across the ground. But the strangeness had become terrifying. People were disappearing without a trace, leaving behind only questions and fear. One by one, they vanished. Families were torn apart, friends left wondering what had happened. No trace, no reason, just empty homes and unanswered questions. Just empty houses and a growing fear in the hearts of those who remained. The disappearances started slowly, almost imperceptibly. Old Man Hemlock, who lived alone at the edge of the woods, was the first to go. His absence was noted but not immediately alarming. Then came Mrs. Gable, the librarian. Her disappearance sent shockwaves through the community. People whispered about strange lights in the sky, flickering and dancing like ghostly apparitions. They talked about the shadows in the woods that seemed to move on their own, as if alive with a malevolent intent. The fear was a knot in the stomach, a cold breath on the back of the neck, an ever-present sense of being watched. The townsfolk were afraid to go out at night. The streets, once bustling with life, were now deserted. The darkness held secrets they didn't want to know, secrets that whispered in the wind and rustled in the leaves. The once familiar woods surrounding the town became a place of dread, a place where the ordinary had turned sinister. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig could be something sinister, something hunting. The sense of danger was palpable, a constant companion in the shadows. Sara refused to give in to the fear. She had faced many challenges before, but this was different. The stakes were higher, and the fear was more palpable. She had to be strong, not just for herself, but for Sam. She couldn't afford to show any weakness. Her little brother Sam was depending on her. He looked up to her, trusted her to keep him safe. Sam was only 10, his eyes wide and innocent, his smile quick and bright. He had a way of lighting up even the darkest days with his laughter. He was everything to Sara. Her world revolved around him, and she would do anything to protect him. Their parents were gone, lost in a storm a few years back. The memory of that night still haunted Sara. The sound of the thunder, the flash of lightning, and the realization that they were alone. It was just the two of them now. They had become each other's world, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. Sam was playing outside when the news of the latest disappearance spread through Hollow Creek. The town was small and everyone knew each other. The disappearance of Mr. Finnegan was a shock to everyone. Mr. Finnegan, the kindly old shopkeeper, was gone. Panic gripped Sara's heart. She had known him all her life, and the thought of him disappearing without a trace was terrifying. She called out for Sam, her voice shrill with fear. The thought of losing him was unbearable, but Sam was nowhere to be found. Days turned into nights. The search parties combed through the town and the surrounding woods, but there was no sign of him. Sara searched everywhere for Sam, her hope dwindling with each passing hour. She refused to give up, but the fear was always there, lurking in the back of her mind. She clung to the only thing she had left of him, his old AM/FM radio. It was a small comfort, a connection to him that she couldn't let go of. He always took it everywhere with him. It was his prized possession, a gift from their father before he passed away. She held it close, whispering his name into the static, praying for a sign. She hoped that somehow he could hear her, that he would know she was looking for him. One night, a voice crackled through the static. It was faint at first, but then it grew clearer. A deep, soothing voice that promised safety, promised a way out. It spoke of a place where everyone would be safe, a gathering in the woods. It spoke of a gathering, a place in the woods where everyone would be safe. The voice was calm, reassuring, but there was something off about it. But something about the voice chilled Sara to the bone. It felt wrong, dangerous. She couldn't shake the feeling that it was a trap. It reeked of the same eerie feeling that clung to the woods, the same feeling that had been growing ever since the disappearances started. Sara knew she had to be careful, for both her and Sam's sake. The voice on the radio became a nightly occurrence, a haunting melody that filled the airwaves. It beckoned the remaining townsfolk, a siren call that promised an escape from their fears, promising them solace and security, a beacon of hope in their darkest hours. Some, desperate and afraid, heeded its call, their hearts heavy with the weight of uncertainty, venturing into the woods, never to be seen again, their fate sealed by the whispering trees. Sara knew she couldn't wait any longer. The time for hesitation had passed. She had to find Sam, her brother, her only family left in this forsaken town. Even if it meant facing the darkness that had swallowed her town, she was determined. Armed with only a flashlight and Sam's radio, she felt a mix of fear and resolve. Sara stepped into the woods, the boundary between safety and the unknown. The air was heavy, thick with the scent of pine needles and damp earth, a sensory overload. The trees loomed above her, their branches intertwining to form a suffocating canopy, blocking out the moonlight. The darkness was absolute, broken only by the thin beam of her flashlight, a fragile lifeline. Every crunch of leaves beneath her feet sent shivers down her spine, each sound amplified in the silence. She imagined eyes watching her from the darkness, unseen creatures lurking in the shadows waiting. But she pushed on, her fear fueled by her love for Sam, her determination unwavering. The radio crackled in her hand, a constant reminder of her mission. The voice was speaking again, closer now, its tone more urgent, more insistent. It seemed to be leading her deeper into the woods. A twig snapped, breaking the eerie silence. Sarah whirled around, her heart pounding in her chest. There was nothing there, only shadows. But she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, followed by unseen eyes. She was no longer just searching for answers. She was being hunted, the hunter becoming the hunted.